All right, let's jump right in. Because what is happening in biology right now, well, it's not just another discovery. It's a complete rewrite of the rule book. We are living through a revolution that is fundamentally changing how we understand life itself.
This one sentence, right here, it just nails the entire shift we're seeing. For the longest time, science has been about observing, about trying to read and understand the world around us. But now we're picking up the pen. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that means.
Researchers are calling this a new golden age for biology. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. The stuff we're about to talk about, this was pure science fiction maybe 10 years ago. Today, it's becoming medical fact, and it is changing absolutely everything.
What that really means is that the limits we just kind of assumed were there, limits on treating disease, on aging, even on what it means to be a living system, they're all being challenged. And in a lot of cases, they're being completely erased by these incredible breakthroughs happening in labs all over the world.
So let's start with the most fundamental tool we have, the one that lets us actually edit our own DNA. We've just gotten a massive upgrade. We've gone from using something like a blunt instrument to a tool with literally surgical precision. Okay, so check this out. The original CRISPR, which was amazing for its time, was basically a pair of genetic scissors. It could go in and cut a piece of faulty DNA, but, it was a bit messy, a higher risk of making mistakes. But prime editing? That's CRISPR 3.0. Think of it like the find and replace feature in a word processor for your DNA. It doesn't just cut. It finds the exact genetic typo and rewrites it perfectly with an incredible level of accuracy.
And this is why it's such a huge deal. This isn't just some small improvement for scientists in a lab. We are talking about a direct path to creating one-and-done cures for thousands of genetic diseases. Conditions that were once a life sentence, like cystic fibrosis or certain types of blindness, we can now imagine a future where they're just corrected. This is where the power to write our own code gets very, very real.
Okay, so if editing our existing DNA is one half of this revolution, get ready for the other half. Because now, we're using artificial intelligence to design completely new biological tools right from scratch.
So how in the world does this work? Well, instead of a scientist spending years or even decades doing trial and error in a lab, they can now just give an AI a mission. In this case, the mission is clean up plastic in the ocean. The AI then thinks, and it designs a brand new protein, something that has never existed in nature that is perfectly shaped for that specific job. Scientists then take that design, build it in the lab, and you have this molecular sponge that soaks up pollution. It's the end of discovery by pure chance and the beginning of creation by design.
And this table, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at the difference. We're moving from a world of random chance, of trial and error, of just waiting on a transplant list, to a new world of precision, AI-driven design, and even targeted regrowth of our own bodies. This isn't an incremental change, it's a completely new paradigm.
Now, with these incredible new tools for writing and designing life, we're not just building new things, we're also able to listen in like never before. We're basically eavesdropping on these secret conversations that have been happening inside our bodies this whole time, and we're finding communication networks we never even knew existed.
For 100 years, we thought it was all about fast-firing neurons in the brain and nervous system. But it turns out there's this third brain spread throughout our entire body. It's a network of all our other cells, our skin, our organ cells, and they're talking to each other. They use these slow electrical signals to make decisions as a group. It's like a slow-motion nervous system that's constantly guiding how our body builds and repairs itself.
And here is where it gets absolutely wild. We can now listen in on these bioelectric chats, and, get this, we can tune them. We can change the conversation. By tweaking these signals in damaged tissue, scientists actually got a snail's body to regrow a complete, working eye where one was missing. Just think about what that means for human regeneration, for healing injuries we used to think were permanent. It's staggering.
And there are other secret signals too. Inside every single one of your cells, you've got these little factories called ribosomes, and their job is to build proteins. But they're also tiny little sensors. And when they get stressed out, say from a virus or some other damage, they start to bump into each other. And when they collide, it triggers a molecular alarm system called Z.
So why should we care about this tiny alarm? Well, because understanding how ZAC works is a game changer. Doctors are figuring out how to shut it off. This could stop those deadly cytokine storms. That's when your immune system goes completely haywire during a bad infection, and it's also pointing to brand new ways to develop anti-aging therapies by helping our cells better manage stress over time.
So we have the power to edit genes, design proteins from scratch, and listen in on our cells' secret conversations. The big question is, what do we do with all this? How do we use these tools to write a better next chapter for all of us?
Let's start with a really complex one: synthetic embryos. Now, to be clear, the goal here isn't to grow humans in a lab. Not at all. The point is to create models from stem cells so we can finally peek inside the black box, those first few crucial weeks of human development that are impossible to study otherwise. By understanding this stage, we can learn why miscarriages and birth defects happen and, hopefully, figure out how to prevent them.
And it's not just about medicine. We're turning biology into a factory for a more sustainable planet. I mean, imagine clothes that can heal themselves. Scientists are literally embedding fabrics with bacteria that, when you get a tear, wake up and produce new fibers to patch the hole. Or how about smart fertilizer? They've engineered wheat that can actually talk to the bacteria in the soil and tell them, hey, pull some nitrogen out of the air and make fertilizer for me. This could get rid of a huge source of pollution.
So if you're going to walk away with just 3 things from all this, let it be these. First, we are entering the age of precision medicine, where permanent, one-and-done cures for genetic diseases are becoming a real possibility. Second, AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's a creative partner driving discovery. And third, we can now engineer sustainability right into the fabric of our world.
And all of this brings us to one final and maybe the most important question of all. We've been given the pen. We now have the incredible, almost unbelievable power to write the code of life itself. The only question left is, what kind of future are we going to write? What story should we tell?